All right, let's go to the phones where Carlos in Florida is on the line. Hi, Carlos. You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind tonight?
Good evening, guys.
Hey.
The grace and the peace of Christ be with you and your listeners. I have, since we're still, mourning over the almost 3,000 people that died on September 11th, and I wanted to ask you guys whether you know about there's an entity called AE911truth.org with Richard Gage. Their main focus of their organization is to let people know that there was a Building 7 that went down, and nobody talks about this. Actually, not many people.
Every 9/11 truther on the planet talks about the Building 7.
Yeah, we're well aware. I mean, people call in about it a lot. I mean, what do you think? Let me ask you this. You said at the beginning of your call that people are still mourning over September 11th, and I completely agree with that. But don't you think that sort of the they, them, those probably want us to be in this state of perpetual mourning and never really getting over it and sort of reopening these old wounds every year?
Let me rephrase what I meant to say. Mm-hmm. Yes, you do remember those people. My feeling is that all these people died, and whoever perpetrated this, which you guys already know that, some black sheep among us perpetrated this, and
I'm not convinced of that. I definitely think the truth's not out there, but I'm not convinced necessarily that it was, as they say, an inside job.
Yeah, I guess if you're just tuning in, and you haven't heard the show before, what would you guys say your position on 9/11 is? Right, not believing the official story necessarily, but not believing the conspiracy official story.
Oh, I mean,
either.
When you read the official documentation, they say we don't know the truth about it, so.
Yeah,
I think it's just as plausible that 13 people hijacked airplanes, 4 airplanes on the morning of September 11th, as it is that they spent weeks and weeks lining up thermite in the basement of apparently three different buildings in New York City that tens of thousands of people work in. I mean, both of these are pretty implausible stories, but one of them seems more plausible than another.
Yeah, Carlos, are you concerned that people don't know about some of this information? Is that what you're...
definitely. I mean, exactly. I mean, if more people were to know about it,
what would happen? What would happen if more people knew about it? A 13-year-old event.
Well, let him answer, Mark.
Well, I would say, just like Henry Ford said many years ago, if people were to know exactly what was going on, we would have a revolution tomorrow.
What good's a revolution going to do? Who's going to get in charge?
Well, I'm not talking about a revolution in which you guys are part of the revolution, and so am I.
Well, we're part of the evolution of liberty, I hope. But now, Carlos,
there was a billboard in Times Square that said Building 7 came down in a controlled demolition. I think actually, like, the 9/11 Truth movement has been very successful in getting the word out, but I haven't seen a lot of people lose faith in government, and that's kind of what I'm concerned with.
Here's Carlos. Here's the thing for me is that whether this is all true or not, that the government was involved, they did it, they laid charges or whatever on these, buildings. If what we know to be true, if the American people are okay with what the government does on a day-to-day basis, I have no hope for them doing anything about when they find out that what 9/11 was, because look, our rights are trampled all over the place. In fact, Jesse Ventura said, even when 9/11 happened, he's like, where were you people in the 90s when all these other laws were getting trampled on, when suddenly everybody got excited about it? I understand what you're saying. You want to see some justice, and you want people to know what happened, but I don't think the American people care. And I hate to say that.
I'm with you. I definitely am with you. I mean, they don't seem to be caring about what they're being fed through the TV, which is a whole bunch of junk.
Yeah, but even when it's true, it's terrible what's happening, and they just say, okay,
Yeah, I'm with you guys. It doesn't seem like nothing's going to ever wake them up.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.